Hi, Shane Session here to give you a little bit of a NAMM wrap up. First off, let me just say I'm still getting over what I call NAMM but a lot of people call NAMM. Typically, when you go to the NAMM show, when you come back, you usually catch something. And I've been fighting it off. I actually got sick at NAMM a little bit and been fighting it since I've been home. So some of the videos and things that you've seen are maybe not showing me as much as some of the others used to and whatnot. But I'm going to give you just kind of a wrap up. I went to the NAMM show to help out Patrick Wong, a friend of mine from Tempo Music. I tried to check out some other things and whatnot. I didn't get around to see as much as I want. But my first overview is such that the NAMM show, if you've never been, you've got to go at some point. It's a giant candy store for a musician. In a sense that there's a lot of gear, new gear, unique gear, companies you've heard of, companies you've never heard of, artists that are stars, up and comers, people you've never seen that are going to blow your socks off when you see them play something. You'll see little kids sit down and just be amazed. So that atmospheric part is really cool. You'll get to see, again, some major stars in the rock world, jazz world, or whatever, sitting in a booth, sometimes doing a special performance for a company or whatnot. That's always cool. Sometimes they can be very difficult to get into because they're not often in massive areas where people can gather. But my take is the last one I went to was 2020 with Vader at the time. And the show appears to be significantly less exhibitors. Smaller in that sense. The aisles were a lot wider, and everything was more spread out. So it appears like it's a full hall, but it's nowhere near the amount of people crammed in, exhibitors crammed in that you used to see. And there's still a lot of exhibitors there, but there's a lot that don't go. My take is during COVID, they kind of learned to get by without it and realized what they were spending and decided to just do meeting rooms or put that money into advertising or something else. Because the NAMM show, which used to be a buyer show, is really more a public relations thing now, except for the overseas buyers that might come in. So anyway, you're always going to see cool snare drums. I'm talking about drums specific. Cool snare drums, I always do. Patrick Wong has some really, really cool ones there at the booth. And he's a newer company and doing up and coming stuff. And check out Tempo Music. So, but you had the usual suspects. I did not get over to the Yamaha area this time, but I looked up what they were presenting. And Pearl had an area upstairs, and I didn't see Sabian this time, and I didn't get a chance to run across some of the people. They might have been having a meeting area only. That's pretty typical now. I think Peisty was that way, and so the nature of a company spending 50 grand plus to set up a booth is probably, it's scaled way back, or they just do meeting rooms only. Ludwig had a pretty significant booth, but they've definitely had bigger ones in the past. And some of them, like KHS will have Mapex and Sonar and several things, so they will kind of put them in an area where you see all that, as opposed to having several booths. But anyway, it's always cool to walk around and see the stuff. And usually, the main companies are posting something, or not posting something, but showing something that's new to get a buyer's attention and stuff like that. But what's usually more engaging in some ways, because you already know a lot about those companies. I mean, from the main companies, and be it Yamaha, DW, Tama, Pearl, Sonar, Mapex, and more. Ludwig, and with Slimmerland reintroduced 3DW now and Gretsch and stuff, you're always going to see some good things, even if they may not show you everything. But what's usually more eye-opening sometimes is some company you've never heard of showing something that's pretty cool. And sometimes those companies will get bought up by somebody else or whatnot, and there's always unique cymbal companies and unique sounds worth checking out and stuff like that. And then, if you see something that you've never seen before, you could check it out, and then you can see if a company that you might be associated with or a company you prefer, if they have something in that vein, because they usually do. So anyway, I enjoyed it, even though I was under the weather part of the time. Running into some people I haven't seen in a while and stuff like that. So the NAMM show is definitely something that I highly recommend, that at some point in your life, buddy up with somebody who's got a music store and see if you can get a bash again or something like that. And, half of it is the hang. So, I think that it's highly recommended and definitely worth checking out. So for me, like I said, I was helping out Patrick Wong in his booth. And he has some pretty cool stuff worth checking out and stuff as well. So if you see videos that talk about that stuff, go ahead. Everybody knows that I'm a huge snare collector. I have been downsizing, but I am a huge snare collector, have been over the years. I have, like I said, downsized quite a bit lately. As I'm getting older, I'm just evaluating, I haven't touched that snare in years. Maybe somebody else will get some good use out of it and whatnot. But I primarily have a core of snares that I use on a regular basis. So, but when I shoot videos, sometimes I'll change all the time just to be seeing if it's something that I might put on the chopping block or something like that. So right now, if you can even see this is totally detuned. It's a vintage Leedy and Ludwig, and I'm waiting to put some different clips on it to tune it up, because I did a video about the storage of vintage clips, and you can look that up. But anyway, my take of NAMM is just that I feel like the attendance might be down a little bit. Definitely the amount of exhibitors is down, but the cost is probably up. So what will be the salvation for it? I don't know. I don't ever see them cutting the prices to make it cheaper, because the cost of doing business is going up. But I do think with the tariffs, I think that it probably has affected the amount of booth space that somebody might have. Certainly some of the overseas companies from coming, because of the cost of the tariffs on exporting stuff out of their country, importing stuff in the United States, and the cost of shipping and whatnot, and the ability to sell that at a reasonable price is difficult now too. So obviously tariffs typically get passed on to the consumer, but that doesn't mean it's reasonable for everybody to go. So I think that if this current economy ever settles down and the tariffs relax a little bit, everything, I think you'll start to see more of the companies coming back, maybe not having extravagant booths like they did at one point. Sabian used to have a cymbal tower. They had an entire cymbal wall with meeting rooms and gombops on the backside, everything. I don't know that you'll see that kind of thing again, but I'm sure you'll see something. But anyway, it's a little bit less, but I understand the business side of it. But at the same time, if you get a chance to go. I highly recommend it. And like I said, as you walk along, there's always something that you're going to go over and tap it and go, that's so cool, or something like that, regardless of who made it. So I do have companies that I work with and whatnot, and I still favor those companies and everything. But that doesn't mean I'm not window shopping or looking at things and going, that's really cool. So the NAMM show is definitely worth checking out for anybody.